I think that we are able to start now. Welcome to those who just joined us. And without further ado, I'm now leaving the floor to our panelists for their presentation. We're going to see a quick video presentation of LCI, and then you will hear the presentation. So enjoy this webinar and see you later.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this webinar about the LCI Barcelona experience, how to explore design, interculturality, creative industries, media, marketing, Spanish language, and so many other topics related to this wonderful city in Barcelona. I'm Alejandra Barahona, and I have the pleasure today to be able to present some of my faculties. I am so passionate about the transformative power of study abroad. I am the Executive Director of LCI Education Study Abroad Programs. LCI Education is a network of universities in 10 different countries around the world, and we have study abroad in 4 destinations right now. I am stationed right now in Costa Rica. So it's early in the morning for me here in Costa Rica. And for our European students, it's actually the afternoon or almost nighttime. And I'm happy to tell you a little bit about our study abroad programs. We have study abroad in Costa Rica, Barcelona, in Morocco, and in Canada, in Vancouver and Montreal. And you can contact us to find all about that. Today, we're going to be diving in what it's like to come to Barcelona, to LCI, as an exceptional destination to learn about design, interculturality, creative industries, media, marketing, business, language acquisition as well. Barcelona is an amazing city. It is so vibrant. There's so much history that happens here in Barcelona, but at the same time, it's a city where you can discover luxury brands, sports marketing, so many things that are happening. It's so vibrant and such a wonderful city that you guys are going to fall in love with it completely. So when you come to our campus, you're going to be able to take a variety of courses, whether you're focused on business, entrepreneurship, marketing, or you're focused on design, graphic design, fashion design, you like photography, or you want to learn Spanish and learn about Spanish literature and also language acquisition, all of these things you can do at our campus here in Barcelona. Today, I am so happy to actually be presenting 3 of our faculty that teach at LCI Barcelona. So joining us will be Professor Irene Clavet. She's a communicator and the professor of courses like intercultural communication, media psychology and consumer behavior, communication for social leadership, and also an amazing popular class, which is Spanish cuisine from old to new, so that you can learn all of the development of cuisine in Spain, from tapas to even our molecular cuisine today, that you'll learn all about that. We also have Professor Marina Petigroso, and Marina is the professor who will guide you in a course called Past and Present Barcelona. So it's all about the history of Catalonia and Barcelona and everything that's gone on and has developed in this vibrant city. She's also a professor of Spanish language. So she also teaches students linguistics, literature, and Spanish for business purposes as well. And we have also Professor Alan Ramirez, and Alan Ramirez is a designer. He's also been involved in marketing. He teaches the course Brand Strategy and the course Sports Marketing. So all about all of the tradition of the Barça soccer marketing boom here in Barcelona. And at the same time, also graphic design. He's an amazing graphic designer and teaches introduction to graphic design at our campus as well. So as you know, Barcelona is a global hub of creativity and innovation, and it's home to a lot of renowned design studios, vibrant cultural festivals, a lot of activities going on, very forward thinking in terms of business. So this is a city where you're going to see how history meets modernity, how everything's vibrant in terms of the creative industries economy here in Barcelona. So at LCI, just like Carolina was mentioning, we focus on a competency-based pedagogical model and projects. That's what our classes are about. So you're not going to have midterms and finals and testing, because that's not what you're going to find in industry. Companies won't test you. They want for you to prove that you can do your test, that you have hard skills and soft skills to actually be a professional in industry. So that's why we use the competency and projects-based learning model. So I'd like to start with a general question for my faculty. I'd like to hear a little bit from all of you, because you guys teach courses with local students getting their full degree in fashion design and marketing and business and many different topics. But you're also our faculty for the study abroad students who come to actually take classes for one semester to transfer credits or to do a gap year. What do you think makes Barcelona uniquely suited for students to explore all of these different fields of study? What do you guys think? Why is it so special to come to Barcelona to do that?
Shall I say something? Yes. Oh, hi. Buenas tardes a todos desde Barcelona. Good evening from Barcelona to you all. I'm so excited to be here. And maybe one day I see your faces too, because I cannot see you. Anyway, to me, if you say, I mean, you mentioned in lots of different fields, the fact that Barcelona is a crossroads. Yeah, let's put it like that. It's over the Mediterranean. It's only 2.5, 3 hours away from France. It got all these influences going on, a long history. And the city itself, it's like a hub, like the Gothic part. And it extended itself with some crazy idea, revolutionary idea that you can see, for example, in New York as well, which is a series of urban innovation which would connect this small Barcelona to the rest of little towns around it. And that is what Barcelona is. Barcelona has always been a really open-minded city. It's the first city in Spain to embrace many social movements, many cultural things. It's open to Europe, it's open to the Mediterranean. And we have so much about identity, but at the same time, really open and eager to absorb anything that when you get here, it's not only about the fact of academics, it's that you actually see it everywhere. Yeah, so to me, that's the real innovation. Innovation is in the mindset of people here.
What about Alan? How do you feel also in terms of coming to Barcelona to do study abroad? Why is it so impactful for some of the students who come? What do they
Yeah,
love about it?
actually, I can actually talk from a personal also point of experience because I also am not from Spain. I'm from Mexico, and I came to study at some point in my life, and I just directly fell in love with the city, into the way that just exudes creativity, at least for my point of view, because I have a bachelor on graphic design, and that was one of the reasons why I ended up here. As Irene was mentioning, is obviously one of the trendiest city today, but that has only happened throughout a tremendous effort from the city to be ahead on trends, on design, on innovation, and as Alejandra was telling before, it's kind of at the hub for many like international events. So obviously, it's the place to be when it comes down to careers that pursue creativity or innovation. Also, as we were talking slightly before, probably most of you might know Barcelona by the football club or pretty much by Messi himself, without getting too much into football or soccer as you pretty much know it, is that the city itself, plus with many industries that is kind of the leader on, it's great to be in the middle of, because then you see every day like being on top into what's being developed, that then goes down to the rest of the countries.
Definitely, definitely. And speaking about adventure, when you come as a international person to Barcelona, Marina, what was your experience the first time you came to Barcelona?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited. So a little bit like the experience that Alan had, right? Like moving in from a different country in Latin America, from Argentina, where Messi is. So of course I know Barca for a long time ago. But it sort of blew my mind in a way. So it's a very vibrant city. It's very innovative. It has a lot of what it's old and what it's new, and it opened up my mind a lot as like in first hand. It taught me a lot of the way of people who are living here, people from here, and I got much in love with Spanish people, and of course Catalan people too, because in Barcelona what we have is this sort of mix of Spanish and Catalan culture going around, and it's very interesting to see how this sort of languages also coincide. So not only a representation, it's not only a representation of the people, but also the culture and the language. Yeah.
Yeah, Barcelona has such a tradition of design and innovation development. And of course, Spain in general, culinary culture, and Catalonia, a lot of the culinary culture and development. There's, you come to Barcelona and you are immersed in Gaudi's architecture and everything that you're learning in terms of creative industries and food. Irene, you teach in several of your courses the elements of interculturality, but also I love that you visit local partners around Barcelona so that students can learn about that tradition. And you integrate design, media, and the creative industries when you talk about your Spanish cuisine course. What do you think these local partnerships bring for students? How does this enhance the classroom learning?
Well, the fact that when we're in a classroom, It all sounds fantastic. But the first thing that, for example, in the Spanish cuisine course, students come and say, are we going to cook? Are we going? I say, no, we're going to eat. Yeah, maybe we don't eat in the classroom. And in the future, I really want to incorporate some cooking. Right now, yeah, we're gonna make it. We're having fun with that now, but you cannot be hands-on with, and you can even show what's happening here if people cannot experience that. Yeah, so whether I got some people coming to the classroom and participating, which students in general love. For example, for creative industries, media, we have editors-in-chief from magazines. We have documentary directors coming in. Why? Because it's just become we are just a part. In this class in particular, I want us to be a communication agency, and that's how we do. Yeah, and communication agencies need to be open. So it's a good opportunity because Barcelona is full of designers, it's full of artsy people. When it comes to, but it's all about the culture as well. It's the way you see the world. So for Spanish cuisine, what we do in the field trips is not only going somewhere to see how they cook, how they eat, but we do it ourselves. I mean, if there's rituals, traditions that we experience, they just invite the students to go around and observe. Or so, how do you think people just eat and they are fine and they speak? No, they you need to observe them, how they enjoy it, what it means to them, the social experience to that. So then I invited to go and join the locals, or I go myself with them, and then they need to ask, what do you feel? Yeah, so we, for example, we craft some wine with them, so they decide what's the experience like. So in the final thing that you try it, or we go and prepare some recipes, old recipes, and we do the contrast between the new ways to prepare the same recipes. So being with professionals or being with people, being with locals, it's that shift from being a student, a visiting student, to being a kind of a new local. Yeah, because we have an expression here in Barcelona and Catalonia, what we call the new locals, people from all over the world, new Catalans. Yeah, so it's just, well, to speak with the language of cuisine, it's just tasting. You need to try everything. That's what I would say.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful because just like you said, Irene, when you come to LCI Barcelona, you're coming, sure, for an academic experience, but you're actually coming for an integral experience. You're coming to immerse yourself. You're not a tourist, and you're not, and you're a student, but you're also an observer. You're immersing yourself in the life of the locals and doing activities to interact with locals. And Catalonia is so rich in terms of that. That's why the intercultural perspective of coming to Barcelona is amazing. Learning some of the language to be able to communicate with locals is also great. There's a lot of dynamic things going on in Barcelona to learn. And Marina, which is not only one of our history professors teaching past and present Barcelona, but also doing language acquisition classes, teaching students Spanish. How do you integrate those intercultural skills? Because you were telling us that when you came here, you noticed that there's the two languages, Catalan and Spanish. And that those are things that will impact students. And when they have global careers, they'll be able to talk about that intercultural experience and learning the language, learning about the tradition of literature in Spain. How would you say that impacts students? Because we see you there doing also activities with students in some of these photographs.
Yeah, of course. So as you mentioned before, this idea of transferring like the theory part to the practical part. Yeah, because at the end we are like main actors. Is what Irene was saying, like tasting, being like the main actors of that performance or being inside that experience. So of course, in literature, in Spanish learning, and even in history, we have a lot of theory going around, right? So the idea is to be able to sort of apply all that knowledge that we're getting into this program, into the city and the different subjects that we're into a practical and sort of real world experience. So that's what I would say would be different, that you can transfer there into the future, right? But basically, so normally if we learn something in Spanish, we'll try to perform, we'll try to practice that outside. With Irene, we did some integrated outings with the both of the subjects. So we learned a little bit of vocabulary, and then we went to a museum of chocolate, for example, from Spanish cuisine. So we tried to pull that all together, and then at the end, these are all activities that you want to do in your daily life, like when you're not studying, right? Visiting museums, for example, in the part of history, like learning about the history, seeing these sort of changes throughout the history here in Barcelona that we mentioned before, having that theory, but also being able to see it for real hand. Also, it's a huge impact. And then transferring all those skills of adapting and opening it up to the world, then in your, I don't know, if you in the future you want to come and work here or live here, you are going to be able to transfer those skills into a proper job, of course.
Something that I would like to add there, it's like regardless of what your line of study, you need to understand that in today's world, it's obviously way more globalized. And it's important, especially when we are talking about from the area of branding, or again, it doesn't really matter where your industry is that you really need to understand different cultures. Because probably if you have a creative idea of business idea, probably you might not have to develop it in your own country. Maybe you have to develop it in another country, and having the skills to develop and adapt into other areas, or in this case, the European markets. It's good that you have like this kind of experience where through a kitchen or through experiencing wine or experiencing kind of the things that a culture does helps you to understand a broader audience. So either if you are like in business school or marketing school, these kind of experiences as the second language or learning about the past and present of Barcelona does open your mind with some kind of skills to understand like new markets and how they're developing in today's world.
Can I just add to? Yes, well, I'm the professor of intercultural communication, and just going by what both Marina and Alan were saying. For example, the fact that we learn concepts about the difference between a multicultural scenario and an intercultural scenario, and then it could be seen as we are just all these theoretical concepts complex, but it's not like that, because our course in particular is applied to work situation. We do the role playing of, okay, we're multicultural people from different places, different cultural backgrounds, in the same team, trying to work together, trying to respect each other and to get the best result. So the methodology just follows the thing of, okay, let's put this in a real context situation. Yes, I wanted to add that, just in case.
That's amazing. When you're here, it's so important to be seeing how business is conducted in Barcelona, because then you get an amazing idea of how large cosmopolitan cities are handling communication, are handling business, are developing trade practices as well. A lot of the companies that we engage with in your courses have very unique type of projects. Alan, can you talk a little bit about those trends in the marketing sectors that students will study when they're doing your brand strategy course, or when they're doing your sports marketing course as well?
Yes, certainly. So again, here in the slide that you are seeing now, you can see some of the things that we do in class. Again, Barcelona is a like super innovative city, is the host of the Mobile World Congress, which is a very important fair worldwide when it comes to technology. Something that I like to do in my classes is similar to what Irene and Marina do when they take people out, is that I like to go to all of the shops, or let's say flagships, from the main brands of high-end brands that exist within the city. So we can experience firsthand how their branding strategies or marketing strategies are actually executed. So we can take this into the classroom and try to apply it into projects, where some of the ones that I like to do is creating the brand for perfumes. And perfumes are kind of a particular product, let's say, that it's interesting because they, rather of selling you more of a scent, they sell you a universe. And some of the projects that we do that, and using AI tools that I help for you to understand, because obviously AI is a subject that we cannot ignore. And I like to use them to the development or marketing or branding strategies, so you can take for yourself into the real world. And aside of the part of the business area, we also have a lot of museums that can get you a lot of inspiration, because most of the museums here are like super high-end in the way that they use technology to have a better experience for the users. In terms of the sports marketing class, it's not like extremely different. We still do, for those who are pursuing something within sports marketing, is that we develop some of your first, let's say, sense of who you are as an athlete, which is the experience that I had like in the last summer. It was working with some athletes so they can develop their personal brands and they can take their careers further in the United States.
Wonderful. Now we have a little video for you to see that can also give us an insight in terms of the vibe in our campus.
Wait 1 second. Sorry, this is the video where we're gonna see a bit of the city and some of the activities that we can do outside. So as you can see how the city looks like.
You're only 16, you were on my arm, then you moved to the city, and we drifted apart. Never thought I would see you. Now we're sitting in the dark, I won't fight this feeling. No, I don't wanna lie no more, I don't wanna hide no more. What I found in you is so real. I don't wanna hide no more, I don't wanna lie no more. Now that I'm feeling young, I'ma let you get the best of me. I'ma let you get the best of me. Thinking I'm next to you, back in my own. Don't feel like I used to, like we were never apart. Never thought I would see, never loving in the dark. We can't fight this feeling. No, I don't wanna lie no more. I don't wanna.
Yeah, it's an amazing environment. When you go to the museums, they're so interactive. They're so interactive that there's so many of these venues that our faculty visit with students in order for them to get the full experience, whether it's visual communication, whether it's cuisine, to be able to sample the vermouth, the tradition of vermouth in Catalonia, whether it's going to La Boqueria to see all of the different displays of the market and how everything is displayed. It's amazing. When you have students in your classes, because all three of you have had students who have different disciplinary focuses. So some students will be design students, others will be marketing, others will be language students. There's so much interdisciplinary action going on in all of our courses. What does each field bring in terms of insights to your classes when you have that mixture of nationalities and mixture of disciplines within your class? Irene?
Well, to me, it's obvious. If I'm, I have like two phases. So I teach two courses which are communication based. One of them is creative industries media. The fact that you come to the class with everything that you can do, the way you communicate from your own, and not only your own skills, but also your own cultural background. Yeah, the fact that you can turn that into a message for everyone and you learn to think out of the box. And then we got communication for development, which basically consists in thinking solutions for the well-being of people. And these people probably belong to some other country. So you always need to think for others. Then my other phase is that cuisine and that intercultural communication. Well, that's completely in disciplines. Today, in my class, there are students from India, there are students from Nepal, there are students from Mexico, from El Salvador, from different parts of the United States, that we had such a good time just exchanging what we like or not. And we decided that we were brothers in spices, yeah, because there was something like that. And then, so everything, every background, every, even academic, personal, from a country is what makes my courses worthy, what makes my courses real. Yeah, because the world is like that, like Alan said, is globalized, but at the same time, we have our own identities. So I enjoy that personally.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Marina?
Yeah, of course, for me, like teaching Spanish is it's just crazy the way the culture reveals itself in the language, right? So every time that we're doing an activity, everybody comes here again with different backgrounds and coming from different places. So each of the students that I have, they translate from their own perspective, right? Not only the language, but also because of their background, their cultural background. So it's there are some of activities that we tend to do, especially translating, right? Like certain idiom or certain expressions that really sort of reveal their own identity, their own cultural background. And it's funny to see because each of them will translate into a different way, and then I will have to sort of put them into a context, into this like Catalonian and Barcelona context. So it's very interesting how each student sort of brings their own identity here, but they can also adapt because of choosing this program. They can also adapt to the culture that they have in front of them, like Irene was saying, like this thinking outside the box. So we already have that advantage of students who come here are already given the first step of thinking outside the box, but then taking the different courses that we offer, they sort of get in touch with the real culture that we live here every day. Yeah.
And you have had students also from Mexico and from the US and from different places also, Alan, right?
Yes, indeed. And again, I think that's one of the beautiful things that Mariana just said, how their personal cultures just reveals through the way they are working on. Normally, I have had like students from so many different backgrounds, and all of them ended up either in graphic design or in branding and strategy. And when I give them the options, right, to work in their personal projects, obviously associated with the class, it's very interesting to see how each one of them obviously take their own interest and puts them into the projects. And obviously it's really nice because it just simply opens your head into how someone else would approach to the same brief and come out with different solutions. And I think that's just a beautiful thing to experience, especially when you are like in these kind of international subjects.
I fully agree. Before we transition into some of the questions that students have asked in the chat, in the Q&A, we would like to show you a video of one of our students who came to study abroad with us and did her semester with us, and then she decided to stay and do a full degree with us. Her name's Eve Littlefair.
Yeah, I will add simply that she was actually one of my students. And it's interesting because now she actually decided to stay into the university and start studying fashion design. So here we're gonna hear her like talking through her experience and the whole process into how she started looking into university and then finally kind of deciding that she wanted to stay. I hope you enjoy it.
So I found out just online by searching study abroad program, gap year, just keywords like, I don't know, probably put in like art, creative, and all that. And then I found LCI. And just the website looked really good, neat. Already the website looks like designish. Does that make sense? It had a good like layout and everything. So I was like, oh, it's really an art school. Because other websites sometimes it just says information. I'm like, I'm not getting artsy vibes. So I signed up. I got here. There was a welcoming day, which kind of helped see familiar faces. And I got to pick my classes. Like there wasn't a course either, which I really appreciate picking up classes. Because especially on a gap year, you want to do what you want and not respect a given schedule. So I had the classes I want, which also means I got to meet new people in different classes. Teachers were really good. They also were understanding that this was our gap year. So we still had homework, so don't get me wrong, we had to work. But they were mostly American students, which for me as a European was fun to meet them. They were really nice. And obviously them being new as well wanted to make friends, so it made it easier to socialize. Yeah, teachers were great as well. Yeah, the city is really nice. Yeah, it's very unique. I feel like Barcelona is very unique. So there's the beach, there's the city. There's always things to do. There's like loads of neighborhoods, so you can do anything. There's also like not the mountains, but like the greenery that you can go hiking and stuff. Not that I did that, but well, I've got stuff. But yeah, good food. Oh my god, the food, amazing. It's not too expensive. I really appreciated that I got to pick my lessons because it was something like that I wanted to learn, and so I came in the class really like open-minded, ready to learn. Like I came into class happy, which is not always the case, especially at high school. It's given cards to stop.
So you can see one of our GAP students who ended up coming for an experience and ended up staying with us. So that's a wonderful testimony of how exciting the campus really is. And now we'd love to hear from you. And we do have several questions that you guys have already posted in the Q&A. So definitely keep them coming. I'm going to go over some of the questions that you already asked. One of the things that you asked was, what are the unique features of LCI Barcelona's programs compared to other institutions? Well, the wonderful thing of LCI Barcelona is that we are really integrating your career preparedness, preparing you for industry and for your different disciplines. We're smaller campuses at LCI. Practically all of our campuses are not these huge, massive campuses where you're just going to be an extra number. Our classrooms are small. We usually don't have more than 18 students, and that's like a super pool. Right now, we have classes with 8 students, 12 students. Our biggest classroom is 15 right now. And so it's very personalized. Plus, we don't go through traditional educational old models with testing and memorizing. It's project-based. It's visiting companies and then doing a report or a discussion, or working with the case studies as well. We also received another question about curriculum. If you write to us at study.abroad@lcibarcelona.com, we can send you the list of all of the classes, even schedules, and which terms they are taught in. We also have another question about what are the requirements in order to apply. So in order to apply, pretty much you have to be 18 years old. If not, you're going to have to sign a waiver, a liability waiver, if you're underage. 18 years old. You don't have to be already enrolled in a college program. So GAP students are fine to enroll with us as long as you're 18. And you can also, if you are a college student, you can also go through your study abroad or international office to be able to find out if there's any scholarships available, partnership agreements available, and that's important too. We also, if you're a professional and you're not a college student or a gap year student, but you're already a professional, we welcome adults who want to come and take some of our curricular offerings and courses because they're amazing. And what integrates intergenerational, different generations in a class makes it wonderful because there's different levels of experiences. And since our classes are so hands-on and project-based, if we have students from different generations, different ages, it really brings a totally different experience to our classroom. So professionals are also welcome to come to our program and study with us. We also had a question about needing a visa to come study in Barcelona. So that's going to depend very much on your nationality. For the most students or participants who are from European Union or the US, Europeans do not need a visa at all to come to Barcelona. US citizens and Latin American citizens will require to do what's called the ETIAS. And ETIAS is a special 90-day permission to come to any of the countries in the Schengen area. And Barcelona, Spain, is one of the Schengen areas. So to come to Barcelona, you can do the ETIAS and you'll be able to stay in our full semester. Our semesters are under 90 days exactly. So you'll be able to complete all of the credits and all of the courses within that 90 days, and you will not need a student visa unless you decide to stay longer, and we will help you with the process of applying, of actually giving you the acceptance letter for the visa. Is there language support available for non-Spanish speaking students? Yes, of course. We have English speaking staff, and our professors, of course, speak English. And we have coordinators and staff in our campus who will help students who don't speak Spanish during the first days. If you do take a basic Spanish language, then you'll have also faculty like Marina who will be helping you navigate the language barriers, but you'll always have support from our staff helping you navigate that. Of course, the courses themselves for study abroad students are taught in English, except for the Spanish learning classes, of course, or the literature, the Spanish literature classes for advanced Spanish level students. But all of the other classes, intercultural communication, Spanish cuisine, brand strategy, marketing classes, artistic photography, gastronomy photography, all of those classes are taught in English. And if you need the whole program, the syllabi of each one of those courses, get in touch with us and we'll be able to send it to you so that you can get it pre-approved by your institution, or so that you can see the contents of each one of those courses. In terms of the admissions process, it's as easy as going to our website. Going to our website and being able to do the apply now, and then from there, you start your enrollment process. Fill out your information. Let us know what term you want to come to Barcelona. And Paula Gomez, which is our coordinator, will get in touch with you, send you the course list, and start your full enrollment process as well. Do we have internships? We have internships right now in Costa Rica, and we will start developing internship offerings in Barcelona probably after 2026, when we will be able to offer internship possibilities in Barcelona. But there is a lot of real company experiences because we do visits with real companies, and LCI Barcelona, for our degree students, our fashion design, our interior design, our digital animation and 3D design students, we already have a lot of contact and partnerships with companies. So yes, eventually we will allow study abroad students to also be able to do an internship if they have the required field expertise as well. In order to apply for each one of the terms, we're very flexible. However, to start enrolling, to get everything settled, we do tell you that the best is to apply at least a month and a half before the term begins. And this means that our spring students already started. They started on Monday, February 3rd. They're already in classes. But if you want to come for our 8-week summer session, which starts in June, you can start applying now, or apply in April. Apply in April, get the course list, and start your enrollment process for the 8-week summer. If you want to come in fall, then make sure you start your application process. It's best in July, 2 months ahead, so that you can see all of the classes you can take, you can get everything coordinated with Paula, and find your lodging, your housing, which we can also help you because we have agreement with residences in Barcelona. So all of this can be done as well. For those of you who do not speak English and are watching this presentation, por favor, comuníquense a nuestro correo. Communicate with us at our electronic email, study.abroad@lcibarcelona.com. Comuníquense con nosotros al correo electrónico y les mandamos toda la información en español también. O nos reunimos con ustedes. Programs for study abroad are 90 days. Los programas de study abroad son de 90 días para que no tengan que aplicar para una visa. So it's really important that you are able to communicate with us so that we can guide you as well. Then I see, Carolina, several of the students who are asking about the certificate for the webinar. And I think Doc City is definitely the one to answer that one.
Yes.
I hear somebody asking about, I'll let you answer the certificate question.
Yeah, no problem. Exactly. To get the certificate, we will share with you the link in a couple of minutes. But of course, you still have time to ask any other questions that you want. All the panelists are here for you. So if you want to proceed, of course, Alejandra, go ahead and we will go to the certificate at the end.
Perfect. At the end, perfect. And so besides the deadline, which is the deadline would be at least 2 months before the program starting dates, and you can get calendars from us and we'll send you the whole calendar for the whole 2025 or 2026 year. Is Barcelona expensive? When you compare Barcelona, I mean, it's a big city. It's definitely probably going to be more than some of the smaller cities in Europe. But Barcelona itself is not as expensive. Like anything, when you are already a student with LCI, when you're immersed with the local culture, you're going to find some of these amazing places where you can find delicious meals that are not expensive. So it's really going to be up to you. Public transportation is amazing in Barcelona. So you can have your metro pass and your transit pass, and you're going to be able to move around all over Barcelona very inexpensively. Housing does tend to be a little bit more expensive, so that's something that you need to plan. But if you're coming with a friend, if there's 2 of you, you can always share a residence room, and that way it lowers a little bit the cost. In general, I would say it's not as expensive. Can you work while you study? Unfortunately, unless you're a European citizen, European Union citizen, no, because you need a special visa to work, a working permit in order to work. So you won't be able to study and work at the same time unless you already have found the job and you're a EU citizen. We do offer accommodations. We work with several residences, and the residences, you guys, the student residences are amazing. When I go to visit my faculty and visit our campus in Barcelona, when I go from Costa Rica to Barcelona, I love staying at one of the residences because the rooms are comfortable. You have a kitchenette within your room. You have your own private bathroom. And what I love of these residences is that they have a great gym. So they have a gym in the residence, and the majority of the residences that we work with even have a pool. So it ends up being amazing. After I work, I go back to the residence, I make myself some food, and then I go to the gym or swim some. The same is that same environment for students. And the residences have activities that they do for students as well. Just like we have extracurricular activities on campus for you guys, the residences also have certain activities that they do for students. There are study areas and just wonderful place to stay at when you're in Barcelona. For this year application, like I said, not for spring because we already started, but you can apply for summer, and I would say apply April because summer starts in June. And then for our fall semester, which starts in September, please apply in July so that we can help you structure absolutely everything.
Fantastic. So I think that we have covered pretty all the points. We have received so many questions, so thank you for your curiosity. Of course, thank to the panelists for the really interesting, let's say, roundtable and debate full of information. I would like to remind you, all the students connected, that in a couple of days, you will receive an email with some information and contact details of LCI. So if any other questions pop up in your mind later, you can ask and you can contact LCI Barcelona and ask all the questions that you want. And you will also get the recording, of this webinar. So if you want, you can rewatch it and get all the information that you need. I'm sharing in the chat right now the link to get the certificate. So if you click on it, you can request it and you will receive it via email. Before we say goodbye, I would like to ask to our panelists if they would like to leave our students with a message or a suggestion.
Well, I don't know if you doubt because you feel that, well, maybe it's far from your home. Maybe will I adjust? Well, what will the locals will be like? Will be, is it too much academically? These are normal things for somebody who's about to discover a new life. But just do it. I mean, you have so many options and you have all the support. So just there, enjoy and really different perspective on life. That's what I would do.
I will say something like, and I learned this. I mean, I know that a lot of young people today feels uh, like very, very insecure into what you are supposed to be doing with your professional careers. And I think having this gap year can help you a lot in clearing your thoughts. And as Eve said on the video, taking different classes and approaching with different people can help you really a lot into try to find what you really want to pursue in your careers. And plus the experience of living abroad is something that will change your life for good, impressively.
Yeah, so I'll also go along the lines of Alan. Also, I think it's a very good place, the place if you want to take a risk in all aspects. I think it's the best option to do, to make. And yeah, welcome. Come here. Vengan.
Vengan, I just want to thank my faculty, Alan, Irene, and Marina, for sharing your insights today. And to you, audience, participants, thank you for joining and exploring the added value of coming to LCI Barcelona. Contact us with any questions. We're happy to send you all of the information. And thank you, Carolina and Flor.
Thank you so much to all the panelists for their presentation. Thank you to attend to this webinar. And of course, we hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by Docity, maybe with LCI Barcelona. So thank you so much and have a really nice rest of the day.
You too. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.